on to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Owen Hayes. You're watching Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented to you by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. And this week I was asked, well, what is Outdoor GPS? I haven't heard of the show. I'm like, what? We're the only live interactive fishing and hunting television show that's ever existed, to our knowledge. Please prove me wrong if you can. I'd like to hear if there was somebody else crazy enough to do this kind of gig. But we're going to give you the best insight that we can real time. We are live here Saturday morning. It's the 9th of August, and we are in the midst of the Super Bowl of salmon fishing, and a lot of people hate it when I say that, but that's kind of why I say it. Right now, down in Astoria, and of course, the main stem of the Columbia, if you can get through the grass, all the way up and down the coast, all the tributaries. There's just been some great options out there. Very good steelhead fishing as well. I'll be doing a little bit of that this week, or I guess upcoming week, on the Deschutes. So I'm extremely excited about that. But we're going to cover quite a bit of ground. Our guest in the studio this morning, you've seen him here many times, Scott Call from Brad's Killer Fishing Gear. We're going to talk about, yes, fall Chinook fishing, a little bit different rigging than you might have seen up to this point, although there's countless different ways to rig baits from Brad's when you're talking about chasing fall Chinook. And we got to talk wobblers too, Scott, so that you don't forget. Those have been producing pretty darn well on the main stem Columbia for folks that are plunking and for those that have been on the anchor. So you don't necessarily have to troll. But yeah, there's definitely a ton of different options from Brad's to be more successful. And in our Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week, one of our viewers had a question specifically about alternative ways to rig the Evolution Flasher. Believe it or not, there's like 2, 3, 4 different ways to run one of these things. One of the reasons why they're so popular. So perfect timing to address that while we have Scott here in the studio. Then we have a live report, and I believe it's the first time that we've had a live report with Kelly Painter. Now, he's the owner-operator of Painter's Guide Service. He's down in the Astoria area, and you can see Brad right there off to the, Scott from Brad's right there. I see the big Brad right there with Kelly and a monstrous fall Chinook. So that is a absolute toad. How big was that fish?
That was pushing upper 30s. Kelly thought maybe 40. That was his nephew that reeled it in.
Good.
It was a hell of a battle. It was fun.
That's incredible. And there has been some reports this week from all over the place of fish that have started with a 3. Now, I have a hard time believing that because I haven't seen one in an extremely long period of time, but with that photo that you just saw, they still exist. They're out there somewhere. But we're going to have a few reports to share in the upcoming segment as well, along with river levels and a few reminders, and the deal of the week from Fisherman's Marine, which is perfect for this time of year. I know I say that every week because they do time these out pretty darn well, but the deal of the week will be a good one, especially if you need some extra safety gear for your boats. Anyway, so we're going to cover a ton of ground this morning. It does look like we have a couple of phone calls that are coming in, so we might try to get to one of those here if we can. But let's jump to some of the photos that you've all been sending over, and there's been a ton. I mean tons, hundreds of them, and we're going to continue to go through these as quickly as possible because we don't want to make it 2 weeks out before you when you send your photos in before you can actually see them. But here you go. There's a beautiful fall Chinook right there. And you're going to start seeing lots and lots and lots of those photos. And not too far away, you're going to start seeing some hunting photos, which I know a lot of us are getting very, very excited about. Our bow season starts in just a matter of a couple of weeks. Believe it, it's here. Lots of stuff going on this time of year. Charlie's first Nook. I love those photos, too. I don't know why. The head-on shot, it's a good one. Congrats on the fish. Thanks for sending the photo in. Don't forget the smallmouth bass. If you ever got the opportunity to go chase them and you want to put big numbers up, get a hold of Jody Smith. Just if you can't get a hold of him, let me know and we'll set you up with him and you can literally catch triple digits of those. Wow, look at that. That is an incredible shot of a bald eagle. That is sea lion? It is a sea lion. Okay. That's an interesting photo. That's not one that you see all the time. Yeah, I think so. I'm sure he's not letting a bald eagle sit on him. Good morning at Dexter. Fishing there has been really, really good. I haven't gotten that report this week, but at the very least, a lot of those central lakes have been very, very good. So hopefully you can still get out there and have some fun there. Great. The Chinook is as big as the kid. Grandson's first Chinook. Congrats on that. Great photo, too. Like I always say, you get a kid in the photo, they're probably going to make it to the air. Wow, look at that. Mom's first bass. Gee, well, I don't know if it's just because of the photo, but that's a good looking largemouth bass right there if you're not familiar. Hey, Justin. I just noticed Justin was there. That's Justin and his mom. Randy's first coho? Really? I'm starting to get really excited about that. My plans in September have become a little clouded, but no matter what happens, I'm going to be looking forward to chasing some of those when they get into the main stem. It's going to be a very interesting year for silvers this year, I believe. We'll see how it goes. While we're fishing, Michael sent this in. Upcoming segment, we will talk a little bit about that. It's been really kind of strange in the dead zone last few days. That's a steelhead right there. Prize steel, yeah, that's a dandy. And that's also becoming very interesting as well with the extension that they gave us on the Columbia, let alone for that. But if you're chasing them over on the east side, if you're watching on that side of the state, you got quite a few steelhead coming at you. I'll be chasing them this week myself. I'm extremely excited about that. It's the Fox 12 app. It's the easiest way to follow along with Outdoor GPS and where you upload your photos and videos. You can also upload them on our Facebook page. We try to show them off from there as well. So if you're into that thing, you can find us on Facebook, and we take those photos from there. Let's go ahead and take Mike's call. Ryan, we got a little bit of time here, so we can kind of save the time in our upcoming segment. Mike, it looks like you got a question or a comment about our hunting draw system. Everyone?
Right.
This will be good. Mike, what's going on, man? What can we talk about?
Well, like I said, I'm 81 years old. Killed my first deer in Oregon in 1958. I have a pioneer hunting and fishing handicap license, okay? And I feel it's a real travesty if somebody with my age and years of hunting in Oregon having to go through a draw system for my tags to hunt deer and elk. I'm just wondering if there's any other state that has an exception to, to deal with that. So it'd be nice if we could get out of the pool of the draw after a certain period of time. So anyway, that's my question.
Well, and the only answer I have for you there is I know Montana does, and I know that New Mexico does as well. Outside of that, I don't believe Washington does, and obviously Oregon does not. But Montana and New Mexico does. And there's a lot of guys that I know that live here in Oregon that no longer hunt here. They hunt in Montana, Wyoming, New Mexico, strictly because of the way that they manage them here in Oregon with the draw. It makes things very difficult. Some folks think that it's easier to draw an Oregon tag if you don't even live here, which is a sore spot for a lot of people for good reason. But yeah, Oregon certainly isn't going to allow that. It would be something that they'd have to think outside the box on, which we all know common sense is difficult around here. But Montana and New Mexico are the only two states that I'm aware of that actually have that. I can't remember what they would call it, the senior version of that draw. I think they put them in their own pool based on age and how long they've been a resident of those two states. So in the end, I don't know if Oregon's ever going to change. It'd be nice if they did. But first things first, Mike, hopefully Oregon will come around and start managing our elk and deer populations to the degree of more of a population, which has been interesting when they're doing nothing but putting more predators in Oregon and Washington, which makes no sense. Anyway, Mike, I know that probably doesn't answer your question, but I hope it does. Don't forget, send Abby's an email, gps@abbys.com. Enter yourself in to win that giant pizza each week. And also, don't forget they've got a fundraiser that's coming up on the 23rd for Rods and Reels in Need. Notice my shirt here? I'm planning on being there August 23rd. This is the Abby's over off Beaver Creek in Oregon City, just blocks away from, with the driver and a little bit of wind, I could hit it from my house. We'll be over there. It's a fundraiser for Rods and Reels in Need. It's a great one where everything's donated from a certain timeline. What was it, 3 to 7? Something like that? 3 to 7. So it's a great cause and a great way to get some really good food. And if you get the chance, come by and say hi when you do so. All right, we're going to cut to a break. We're going to come back with our field report segment, hopefully give you some insight on what's going on and maybe get you motivated to get out and have a little bit of fun chasing some fish around before upcoming hunting season kicks off into full swing. We'll be right back.